What is up, everybody? So I have my brand new Duro Star DS4000S, and I've just tested it out for the first time here, and I thought I would do a demo to help me remember how everything works here. First up, for anybody who's concerned about the leak underneath, that is oil. The oil specifications say that it's supposed to hold a quart. It does not hold a quart. It holds about 2/3 of a quart of oil. So I had to sadly empty some of it out. But everything should be fine otherwise. It says it holds 4 gallons. I just put about 1.5 gallons in after seeing that the oil specification was not exactly accurate either. So just to be safe. So a couple of things about the Duro Star. It is a pull start, at least the model that I have. You can see the hand crank here. There's a choke and fuel valve up underneath here as well. This is the fuel valve, and then the choke is over here. Your outlets are on the front. We have an AC 120 volt 30 amp, as well as 2 regular US AC 120 volt 20 amp outlets. And so this is a gas powered generator. I currently have it grounded to a copper grounding rod for extra safety precaution, with a 12 gauge copper grounding wire connected to the grounding screw on the generator. There's a voltmeter, a breaker switch, so once it's running you'll see the voltmeter go up, and then I'll do a test here in a moment with a hairdryer, which is a pretty high wattage piece of equipment. Runs about 1800 startup watts. There's a handy quick start guide on the side here. So this thing was pretty much assembled when I got it. I just had to unpackage a couple of things a couple of days ago, and then I live pretty remote, so I had to drive down the mountain to go get gasoline and motor oil for this. This particular model did not come with the wheels or handle, so I've ordered that separately. That was a surprise to me when it arrived. So there is a wheel and handle accessory that you can add, which would allow you to tow it around. So the way these things work, if you've never used a generator before, if your power goes out on your house, you would want to connect an extension cord to one of the outlets on the generator, or the AC 120 volt outlet if you have that kind of cable. I have just a regular 3-prong extension cord here for test and demo purposes. That is an exterior extension cord, so I would run this extension cord into the house. Now this thing does put out some exhaust, so you would not ever want to use it inside of a house, or really even particularly close to the house. I'm about probably 30 feet away from the nearest door or window, so you're gonna need an extension cord to connect to your generator once it's running. All right, so let's fire this thing up. That's probably the thing that's most interesting to people. So it has an engine switch here. We'll turn that on, and then open up the fuel valve down here. Because this thing is just a quarter turn, and then the choke is open at the moment. It suggests trying to start it with the choke closed. I have not had a lot of luck with that, so I've been starting it with the choke open and leaving it open while it's running. If you've got everything set up the right way, it should be pretty easy to start, like a lawnmower. right, so for our test purposes here, I'm just going to use a hairdryer and this extension cord. And you can see a pretty high wattage hairdryer. Pretty high wattage hairdryer at 1800 watts. Is working just fine. You might have noticed that the engine kicked on a little bit or lowered in RPM. So the engine on the Duro Star does respond when you put on a high wattage piece of equipment like a hairdryer. I'm going to turn it off. So that's a basic demo of the Duro Star DS4000S generator. Yeah, first day of opening it up, so there's not a whole lot I can say other than it worked really well coming out of the package. The test run now with a hairdryer seems to work well. And a cabin the size of this one, or for camping purposes, I think this thing would do the trick for most lower wattage appliances, a refrigerator, freezer, a low wattage heater if you had something under 1,000 watts. I think the specifications on it are up to 4,000 startup wattage, hence the DS4000S, and I want to say 3,000 running wattage, but check the specifications on that for the Duro Star DS4000S.